Welcome to this video in which we're going to explain how to use the chart search function in Prometheus. The chart search function is used to search through a database of radix charts, which many of you will have databases of your clients or the people that you're interested in. To spawn the chart database search, you click on the search tab, which is in the main tabs, and then the icon is database search, which is here. We're going to use Capricorn Interesting People, which is here, which is just a selection of a few people that we've added from, and it comes as part of Prometheus. This is the main search window once we've opened it. On the left here, it gives some details about the chart database that's been opened, which we're going to search. Directly below that is the name of the radix chart that we're going to use as a radix to search against. It's not necessary to use a radix. For instance, you could search through the database for every person who has a given sun in a given sign, or moon in a given sign, or any combination of those without reference to the radix chart. But for this example, we're going to use a radix chart. How I'm going to do this is as I'm just going to show a very basic example of how to do a chart database search, and then after that I'm going to go through the options in some detail and explain all the different search terms and the different options and the ways of searching. But right now we've chosen Mr. Capone, a famous gangster from Chicago area. He was born in Brooklyn, New York. We're going to use him as a radix chart, and any chart that's currently active in the session that can be used as a radix will appear here. Currently we've got two, so that's already set up correctly. Here on the right is the actual chart database search, and that is the thing that we'll be focusing on, and that's the important thing. Here, first two options are load and save, as many searches will be similar and or will be the same, and it's a good idea once a search has been created that it should be saved so that it can easily be accessed again. The actual search is here. Currently there's one search which is just the default, which is chart, database chart, sun in Aries, which if we ran the search now, it would find every chart in the database that had the sun in Aries. But that's not what we want. We're going to build something slightly different in this case. So what we'll do is we can double click that. Double clicking or pressing the edit button allows you to edit the current search expression. It is possible to have more than one what's called search expression active, so you can search for more than one thing at the same time. This mechanism exists also in electional search, and it's slightly more useful there than it is here, but it still exists in the chart database search. So it is possible to have more than one separate search expression that's looked for at the same time. But anyway, what we're going to do here is to actually build up the search expression, and this is the search expression builder window that allows search expressions to be built. Search expressions just means a set of search terms that are combined together, usually using Boolean operators such as and, or, not, and various brackets. So it's actually a very powerful method of combining different search terms so that most conditions you would like to search for can easily be searched for and be found. So what we'll do as an example is just create a soft sun moon synastry search, so we can find anyone who's got a soft aspect to the sun or the moon to Mr. Capone. So what we can do to start that off is if we click on this and we just double click that, it'll allow the current search term to be edited. Any search term that's double clicked on, this window will come up and allow it to be changed. There are a number of search terms here which we can go into in more detail a little bit later on, but right now the one that we're looking for is in aspect, because we want to search for soft aspects between one chart and another. So when we click that, we can see that the parameters of the search term are now displayed on the right. Point 1 is the first point to be searched for in the aspect. Chart is either the radix or the database chart. The radix chart is the chart that we have chosen here, which is Mr. Capone's chart. For point, it's the point in that chart, we'll just choose the sun. Modifier means that we can actually change that rather than the sun itself. It can be the dispositor, the house ruler, the planet that's exalted in the sign that the sun is in, and so on. And that's useful for especially for electional searches. Point 2 is the second point that we're looking for. We'll change that to database chart. Database chart means the chart that's been searched for in the database, as every chart in the database will then be subjected to the search expression, and any chart that matches will be included in the search result. So we'll choose sun. Aspect configuration default, which is fine. You can change to any aspect configuration you wish by clicking there, but we'll just save it as the default. For aspect, we'll change that to any soft aspect. Again, there's also an option for restriction here. We can restrict it to partile or applying, separating, so on, but we'll just save that as it is. So we're going to search for the sun, Mr. Capone's chart, to the sun in the database chart in any soft aspect, and then we'll go OK. So now that we've done that, you can see that this has changed to radix sun in any soft aspect to database chart sun. We'll add another search term. Search terms can be added by just pressing the add button. Can also be edited, deleted. A shortcut to edit is, as I saw before, if you just double click that, it has exactly the same effect as pressing the edit button. So we'll press add. Again, we want an aspect. You'll choose the radix sun once again, and this time we'll choose the database chart moon, and we'll go for, once again, any soft aspect. So now you see that we've got the radix sun in any soft aspect to database chart sun, and radix chart sun in any soft aspect to database chart moon. And that's not what we want, because if you look, that and there means that both these conditions need to be true in order for the chart to be found, and that's not what we want. We want if either of them is true to be found. So we can change that and to an or in the operators here. So pressing or, it changes the and to an or. What we'll do is we'll also add any soft aspects between the radix moon and either the sun or the moon. So we just add another expression. We've done this a couple of times already, so it's already set up for moon. And we'll go database chart sun, which is fine, and any soft aspect. This is the same thing that we've already done twice before. So radix moon, we'll change that once again to an or. We'll add one more. So this is the radix moon to the database chart moon, and again any soft aspect. We'll change that to an or. If you're wondering about the precedence between and or, If you're in any doubt about that, you can specify it using the brackets. So you can actually bracket certain search expressions to make it so that they clump together. For those who understand a little bit about mathematical expressions, that will be clear. But basically it just means that if I was to, let's say, place one bracket there, another bracket there, that this would all be evaluated together as one. It would matter if I put an and there. So then in that situation, these would all be, if any of these was true and this was true. So that just allows search expressions to be clumped there, and any level of nesting is possible in the brackets also. So I'll just return that back to the way it was. So powerful expressions can be generated. Then it's also worth mentioning that the not operators in there also. So if you use a not operator, then it will just invert that. So if you use the not, it would be true if there was no soft aspects to the base chart sun. So we said that not radix sun not in any soft aspect to the base chart sun. That's not what we want here. And we'll change the name of the expression. What we'll change it to is sinistrate. Sinistry, sun, moon, soft aspects. So okay. So you see that's now appeared here in the search. The prudent thing to do now is to save this, as it's likely that it might be used again, as I've already saved it here before, but we just replace it. Okay. And now we begin the search. So just by pressing begin search. Search is done. It's very quick. 70 charts were found which match the search criteria. The matching charts have been saved as search results.chart database. It is worthwhile to mention that after a search has been done, it saves the results as this search results.chart database. That's so that if you do a search, you do some processing on the search, you load the charts into the session and you do some astrology with them, and then you want to go back, you don't have to run the search again or build up the search expression again. You can go directly to the chart database by loading up that search results.chart database. So I can show you that. So it's automatically loaded after the search results. But if I can show you that. If I go load search results.chart database, then the search results are there. So they're saved as that database to allow very easy the search results to be returned to easily. So there are quite a lot of results found. It's quite a wide search criteria. So if we choose, let's say Agatha Christie, you can preview the chart there on the database as per usual. If we want to load this database in to actually see the synastry, we can go open chart. The chart is loaded into the session, as you can see. If we just close this down, and then we'll just do the synastry, and you can see there, there are actually two soft aspects between sun and the moon, which are here. So that chart's been found. So that's an example of how to do a search using the chart database search. What I'm now going to do is I'll now go through the search in a little bit more detail and just explain the different options. So if we go back to chart database search, here, as I said again, are the list of search expressions that are going to be searched for. What we can do is we can just load what we were previously working on, and then go back to that just by double clicking. So it's very easy. So we're now back to what it was we were searching for before. The options here are add, which I already explained, adds a new search expression, a search term, sorry. Edit, we'll edit an existing one. Delete, we'll delete whichever one is currently selected. It'll usually and again, brackets allow you to nest search expressions so that they nest together, to allow the full, not the usual full power that you would expect if you were using the programming language or any other mechanism that allowed expressions to be generated. And there's no limit to the nesting level of the brackets. You can nest them at any level. Order again is important in that you can move the search expressions up and down in the order. Sometimes you might need to do that if you're moving things around and it's quite a complex expression. So that pretty much explains how to actually build the expressions up, I think. What we'll look at now is the actual search terms themselves. So if we just press edit there, so as you can see, there's in sign, in house, in aspect, in phase, void of course, in motion, at position or speed, chart and sect, and chart shape. So start with in sign, and it's very simple as it seems. The chart is either the radix or the database chart. More often than not, you probably wish to select database chart rather than radix. Point is the point that you're looking for. Again, the full gamut of points available in Prometheus are available for you to search from, so there are quite a lot there. Modifier, again, as I said, is that you can specify many different types of modifier, and sign is the sign that the point will be in. So there are all the standard signs plus any fire, earth, where, and so on. So let's say we could build a search expression for the sun in a particular Aries or Taurus by adding two search terms into the expression. So you can go radix. So let's just do that. Okay. Aries. We delete that one. We're going inside radix sun and Taurus. Okay. So database chart sun in Taurus. So in this case, we search for the database chart sun in Aries or the database chart sun in Taurus. So it's possible to combine these search terms into search expressions, as you've already seen. But so we have in sign. The next one is in house, and that's similar to in sign. It's just the chart, whether it's the radix or the database chart, point, modifier, which you've already seen, and the house. Now the house can either be a house in the database chart, which is the chart that's being searched, or it can be a house in the radix chart. And again, there's many options for houses. The actual house numbers are various different common groupings of houses. An aspect, which we've already looked at, there are quite a lot of options there. The first chart, the radix or the database, and so on. I've actually covered that already, so I won't waste time. In phase, which is the phase between two planets. The usual selection that people choose is the sun and the moon. It's people are most interested in, but there's no reason why that has to be a restriction. Any 2 points that Prometheus can generate can be chosen. The phase angle is the phases are here. Phase 1 of 2 is the phase between an example of the sun and the moon. It would be from the conjunction, which is the new moon, to the opposition, which is the full moon. And likewise, phase 2 of 2 is the phase between the opposition and the conjunction. It's pretty. The other ones are very similar. So 1 of 4 would be the phase between the conjunction and the first square between the two planets. and the other options are very similar to what you've seen before. Void of course finds whether or not the moon was void of course in the given chart. Really the only sensible option is database. There are 3 different methods for void of course: modern, or traditional, or according to William Lilly, who did it traditionally but a little bit different. For void of course, the moon doesn't form any aspects between its current position to exactness. It doesn't make any exact aspects between its current position and the time in which it makes an ingress into the next sign. In the modern method, then the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune and Pluto, I believe, are also used in the void of course calculation. In traditional, they're not, and I think that Lilly's method, certain signs are restricted. I can't remember off the top of my head which ones, but we'll cover that later, I think, in a different video. In motion, again, you can choose the radix of the database chart, and then we have motion type, which is either direct, fast, slow, retrograde, stationary, stationary, direct, stationary, retrograde, so on. So just how the planet's moving. At position or speed, again, is there are different values that can be chosen for that, and then the value for the position or speed or longitude as required. Insect is either diurnal or nocturnal, which is whether the sun is above the horizon, invisible, and it's during the day, or it's during the night. And for many types of traditional astrological calculations, that's a very important factor. That's why it's there. And chart shape, again, there are all the standard chart shapes that you can check to find out using the algorithm which one it is. And all of these can be combined into search expressions as already seen. So I think that covers pretty much everything in chart database search. Thank you very much for watching. Peace be with you. Take care.